Good morning, students. Welcome back to class. Hope you all are doing well. Today is Friday. Yay, Friday.
Friday night.
What are we teaching? What are we learning
Friday
about
night.
today?
กิน
What
วิธีการ
subject?
แล้ว
What subject are we doing today? Who can tell me?
บีทบ็อกแพทเทิร์น
What subject are we doing? Anyone? What subject are we doing today?
Math.
Math. Yes, we are doing math. And today we will start with a new topic in math. The topic with the name called decimals. Have you ever heard the word decimals before? Have you heard the word decimals before? Yes or no?
I don't heard
Hmm?
I don't heard of it
Let me hear. Have you heard about decimals before? Let me hear.
no
You've never heard about decimals. What about in grade 4? Did you do decimals in grade 4 last year? Or were there no decimals done because no school? Oh, it doesn't matter. Today we will look at decimals and we'll start with decimals. In decimals, we'll look at the reading and writing decimals with no more than 3 decimal digits. We'll look at places and place values and the values of digits. We'll look at writing decimals in expanded form. And we'll look at a few other ones. We'll also look at zero and decimals. We'll look at comparing decimals with no more than 3 digits. So there's a lot we're going to do about decimals, a lot of different things. Now let's watch a quick introduction video to decimals before we start. Let me share this. This is a short video to start and to get our minds going, our brains going. You can also dance if you want to and sing along if you know the words.
Nice. 39 and 83 hundredths. Dear Tim and Moby, can you make a movie about decimals? From Veronica. Sure can. Basically, a decimal is a number that's based on the number 10. Actually, all of our numbers are decimals because our number system is based on 10. Even the word decimal comes from the Latin word for 10, decim. But usually, when people talk about decimals, they're talking about numbers that are only parts of a whole. Imagine you've got a rectangle that represents one whole object. If you divide it into 10 smaller equal-sized rectangles, you now have 10 parts of 1, tenths. If you divide each of those into 10 smaller rectangles, you have 10 times 10, or 100 parts of 1, hundredths. Now, if you divide each of those into 10 smaller rectangles, you have 10 times 100, or 1,000 parts of 1, thousandths. All of these fractions, tenths, hundredths, and thousands, are called decimal units. Well, writing decimals is pretty easy. In our number system, I can count from 0 to 9 in the units place. To count bigger numbers, I have to move left, over to the tens place. Each place increases by a power of 10. Because decimal units are smaller than 1 unit, you actually move to the right of the units place. To do that, you need this guy, the decimal point. Numbers to the left of the decimal point are whole numbers, and numbers to the right are decimals. Except for the units, every place on the left side has a decimal equivalent on the right. Tens and tenths, hundreds and hundredths, thousands and thousandths. So this number is 39 and 83 hundredths. Actually, decimals are really important. We use them every day to talk about money. Right, 1 cent is just 1/100th of a dollar. We can also use decimals for weight, measuring distances, baseball statistics, temperatures, and even stock prices. You need more reasons? Well, arithmetic is a lot easier with decimals than it is with fractions. As long as you line the decimal points up, you can add or subtract them just like whole numbers. Also, decimal numbers are easy to compare. By adding zeros to the right of the shorter number to make the numbers the same length, you can tell right away which one is bigger. Well, 0 is just a placeholder. Adding zeros to the right of a decimal number doesn't change the value of the number. Some decimals do go on adding numbers to the right forever. For example, the decimal equivalent of the fraction 1/3 starts out as 0.333 and just keeps going on and on. These decimals are called repeating decimals. You could round that number off to 3/10 or 33/100, but it's more accurate to put a line over the last number. That line indicates that the number keeps on going. Decimals that end are called terminating decimals. But some decimals, called irrational numbers, don't end or repeat. One example is pi, which is the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. Pi starts off 3.14159, and then it keeps going and going without any repeating pattern. Convinced yet? 1/100th of a second faster than Rita. See? Decimals matter.
Well, just a quick short video, just explaining a little bit about decimals. But let us look at what decimals actually are and how we can work with them. So if we look at our vocabulary for the beginning, first we have some whole numbers. Now a whole number is any number from 1 to 1 million. It can be any number. So whole number, for example, this number is 10. It's a whole number. It has tens column and ones column. So that makes it whole. If you want to make it a decimal or a fraction, it is not whole anymore. Then we do this. So the second word is decimal. Now decimal actually just means this decimal point here, this circle here. It splits the whole numbers from the decimal numbers. So what that means is the number on our left of the decimal, on the left, is the whole number, 45. 45. What is the number on the right of the decimal in this picture? Who can tell me? What is the number on the right of this decimal? What is this number? What is this number? Number? Now let me hear some answers. Let me hear you guys. It's nice and early Friday morning. Come, let's hear. What is the number on the right? What is this number here? What? Number how many? Number 6. Number 6. So number 6 is not a whole number. It is a decimal number. So that's where decimal. It is on the other side of the decimal point. Okay. Convert. Now converting means we change. Convert means change. So if we convert fractions to decimals, we can also convert decimals to fractions. We will learn them as we go. We will still teach them and we will learn. But for now, just know that we can convert decimals to fractions and also fractions to decimal. We can convert, change them. And the last one is between. Between. So 4.23 is between 4.2 and 4.3. Between means in the middle of two things. So if I have these pens, 2 pens, my face is between the pens. Now my face can be either side of them, but now it's between. So it's in the middle of the two. Okay, So that's our basic vocabulary that we will look at for our decimals. Okay, let's quickly have a look. And some of the work that if you have done it in grade 4, I'm not sure how much teaching you guys received with the COVID last year. So we'll have to do it again and start from the beginning to make sure you understand. So the number on the top there, the number on the top, that is a decimal number. So let's quickly explain. So this 17 here is what? It's made up of what? Who can tell me? It's made up of what? Read here. Who can read here? What is standing here? Anyone? Hello? Let's read here. What stands here? Hello? Are we awake this morning? What stands here on the left?
Ones and tens.
Ones and tens, yes. Let's wake up a little bit. It's only one lesson today. Ones and tens. Now the ones refer to the first number. So you start the first number on the left of the decimal point. So that's our ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the ones. 0 is also part of the ones. What's the one below it? What's this one? What stands here? What stands there?
Tens.
Tens. Tens is the number next to our ones. That is our tens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Those are to the left of our decimal point. If we had a number here, like a 2 in front of the 1, what would be here? What would we write here?
Hundreds.
Hundreds is our hundreds. That means it is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900 is part of our hundreds. And we can go on to 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million to the left. We can do the same to the other side of the decimal. If we move to the other side of the decimal here, to the, why is the color not changing? Okay. If we move to the other side, to the right of the decimal point, this is the barrier between more than 1 and less than 1. More than 1 is on the left. Less than 1 is on the right. So if we look at the first one, the 5, we say it is 1/10 of a number. So this is 5/10 of 1. This is 900. The second one is hundredths. It's quite difficult to pronounce these ones. But you don't need to know the names. You just need to know what they are for. This one is 900ths of 1. And the last one is 1,000th. 1,000. So for our example, for us to explain how do decimals work, we look at the bottom to what we learned in grade 4. What did we learn in grade 4? Okay, let's start. What is 10 divided by 10? Equals 10 divided
1.
by 10 equals 1. Now what is 10 divided by 100? Oh no. How do we know? Let's find out. Let's do some mathematics. So you 10 divided by 10 is 1. Yes, very good. But what happened to the 10? We had 10 at the bottom here. We divide by 10. How many zeros does 10 have? How many zeros does 10 have? Anyone? How many zeros do you see in 10?
1.
1 0. Yes, very good. There's 1 0. So when we are dividing by tens or hundreds or thousands, look at how many zeros there is and take it away. So let me do it a little differently. Let's do from this 10 we have here, we divide it by 10. So what means is we take 1 0 away. We have 10. We take 1 0 away. Okay, but what if we have 10 and we divide by 100? What if we have 10 and we divide by 100? There's only 1 0 to take away. But the 100 has 2 zeros. So we take away both of them. Okay. If we take both, what's the answer, teacher? Then there's no answer. Here's where the decimal comes in. Our beautiful round decimal point. So we have 10 divided by 10. So here's our normal one, 10. The same number here. We just put a decimal and 2 zeros. Why? It doesn't change the number. It's still 10. The answer is still 10. Just put the decimal for explaining. So we have 10 here. We divide by 10. The decimal moves once. Decimal move 1. So our answer becomes 1. 10 divided by 10, answer is 1. Here we see the decimal moving once. If we take 10 divided by 100, the decimal moves 2 times. We move the decimal 2 times and we put a 0 in front of the decimal. So then if we take 10 divided by 100 is 0.1. And if we divide by 1,000, we move 3 decimals. 1, 2, 3. We move 3 points. So then our answer will be 0.01. Let's look at that on the whiteboard as an example. We have a block. This block has 4 blocks. I take 1 block for myself. How many do I have? So in fractions, we say we have 3 empty blocks and 4 total blocks. But what do we do in fractions? In fractions, we say we take 1 away, so we have to divide. We have to divide to get to decimals. Now the conversion I will show you. If we divide, how do you think we divide? Before we get to division, wait, let me not confuse you with the division now. Let's first look at why decimals come, where they come from. So I have 125. Divide that by 10, To get an answer, divide it by 100 to get an answer and divide by 1000. We only do 3 decimal places, so that's why we do 1000. Who knows where to start? Is there anyone that knows how to start doing this? Or should I first explain? Divide, divide. Who wants to try and do these 3 problems? Who wants to help me? Please raise your hand if you want to help me. Please raise your hand if you want to help me. And if you, okay, Leon, you can try. Let's see what Leon does. Okay, 12.5. Okay, that is correct. That is correct. But,
I do.
okay, number 2. Let's see. 1 point.
Can I do, please?
Can I do?
You can do
Can
number.
I do?
Yes, you can do number 3.
เราต้องได้ทำต้องได้ท
See someone. Let's do number 3. Okay, equals. We 3 of you. Okay, it's fine. You can write 0.125. Yes, very good. Very good. Well done. Excellent. But let's see why. Why do we do that? If we look at our number, one.
Yes, we all are already study.
Yes, I know, but we have to go through again to make sure. To make sure we
Yes.
know the basic ones.
Okay.
So let me quickly just explain why this is happening. Why? So we have the 125 here. If we look at decimals, the 125 is a whole number, a whole number. We always have a dot after a whole number.
Yes.
Decimal point. Now you can put
Yes.
100 zeros here. It will not
Yes.
change the number. But we have a decimal. So if we divide by 10, we divide with 1 0. So we move 1. Move decimal 1 point. So this one equals 12.5. Yes. Like you guys show me. Very good. But if we divide 100, we have 2 zeros. Look, we have 1, 2. So the decimal must move 2 times. We start here, we move 1, 2 to go to next between the 1 and the 2. So this equals 1.25. Okay. And the last one is 1000. We have 3 zeros. We have 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. And because we are dividing, we have to move 3 times. So we move 1, 2, 3 to in front. So then the final one will be 0.125. We always put a 0 in front just to make it look nicer. But because there is already a decimal, it shows that this one is 0. So that's how we will calculate decimals when dividing by 10. Now we have some examples in the book, and I want to see if we understand the basic concept, and then can we do the example in the book. This is just the explanation. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. So this is what we quickly looked at. Let's look at our next one. So this is just a reminder in our book of what we did grade 4. So this one, we're not going to look at this. We just talked about it. I explained it to you in a different way. Okay. On page 98 in your books, we have a couple of questions. So I want us to read the question and then see if we can answer it. Because I want us to hear the English words they use and what we do with the English words. Okay. So number one, here on the left. 8 parts out of 1,000 equal parts. How do you think we will write that decimal? What do we think we should do? Who wants to try? Who wants to give it a try?
What?
Yeah, the first one on page 98 here. 8
Yes.
parts out of 1,000 equal parts. So you have to divide 8 by 1,000. Divide
Yes.
by 1,000. Let's go to the whiteboard. We can do them on the whiteboard. It's easier there. On the whiteboard, we can all write here. Okay. 8
Equal 2,000.
8 parts
Equal.
of 1,000 parts. So what that means, 8 parts out of 1,000. It means we will have to divide it. We have to divide 8 by 1,000. So how do we divide 8 by 1,000? We have 8. How many zeros does 1,000 have? Who can tell me? How many zeros does 1,000 have? Who can tell me? Anyone? How many zeros?
3.
3. Yes, very good. It has 3 zeros. So it means we start from the one side and we move 1, 2, 3 and put our decimal point here. And we fill in the gaps with zeros. So 8 parts of 1,000 equals 0.008. Yes, this one here is correct. Correct. The second one they ask us is 14 parts out of 1,000. 14. Number 2 here. What do we think is 14 out of 1,000? What will our answer then be? What will our answer then be if we change to 14 and not 8? What was writing here? Okay, let's see 14 out of 1,000. We will do the same. We write down 14. Start on the one side, on the right side, and count the zeros. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We put the dot, a 0 before, and a 0 after. Okay. Where's the shit? Okay, that's what we're doing here. That's what we are doing here. The first one we said was 0.008. And the second one, 0.014. But if you look the last one, they say 256. So all that we are doing is dividing. We are dividing. But the way we are dividing is by moving our decimal point. Now, early next week, we will look at different types of dividing. We'll look at dividing of multiple numbers. maybe dividing 8 divide 6 to get a decimal. So I can show you how to do that next week. But I just wanted in today's lesson to look at the beginning of decimals and go through a little bit discussing what we have to do and how we can understand decimals again. Because yes, we did decimals a long time ago. So we need to remember and also see if we can do. So let's read all together the vocabulary to make sure we understand before we finish. All together, first read number 1, whole number. All together, whole number.
Whole number.
Yes, everyone together. Let's go. Whole number.
Whole number.
Whole number.
One more time.
Read together.
Whole number.
Number.
Yes, very good. Number 2, decimal.
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 One more time.
Decimal.
Decimal.
Yes, very good, very good. And the last one, between.
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 I can't hear you. Again.
Between.
Between, yes. Very good. Well done. That's all that I wanted to do today for decimals. Just a short reminder and a short recap of what we did in to look at the words and how decimals look. Next week, we will start doing some more mathematical questions and solving some more problems with decimals. Will be nice and interesting, but for now, thank you very much everyone for coming. If you want, let's quickly turn on our cameras so we can do some rock, paper, scissors and see if anyone can beat teacher today. Who's gonna
I think I
beat today? Who wants to compete? Okay, everyone, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, on the count of 3, you know? 1, 2,
Count
3,
10.
shoot.
Oi. I tie again. I always tie with you.
Oh, we all share except Teacher Pooh is the winner today. Hey, congratulations, Teacher Pooh, for beating.
Finish you.
Oh, and all of you other ones unlucky this time. Next time, if you can beat teacher, your name will go on the list for a.
Teacher, yesterday I was tied with you, and this day I was tied with you again.
Again, oh, so maybe we think the same. We think the same. So then you have to be a very smart boy if we think the same. Okay.
Oh, I'm not smart boy.
Of course you are. You
I am dumb boy.
You are very smart boy. It's very good.
I am very dumb boy.
No. All of us are very smart. But yes, our time is running out. We only have 1 minute left.
Yes.
So I would like to say thank you very much, everyone, for showing up and for participating.
Bye-bye.
And I hope you have a good day and a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I have a cat. Teacher, I have a kitten.
And a beautiful cat. It's a beautiful cat. Bye-bye.